When Lonzo Ball came back after 2.5 years, it was a feel-good story. People thought he'd never walk again, let alone play NBA basketball. But my goodness, he is so much better than we expected. After a 15-game wrist injury, he came back against the Magic. Zoe checks in, immediately steals a pass for Franz Wagner, leads to an easy fast break bucket. Then, notices Wendell Carter can't see him, so whoop! And guarding Franz again. Another jacked his pass. And when will they stop doing lazy passes around this man? He is just too fast. On a reconstructed knee? Yeah, they underestimated him. In that game alone, he had 4 steals, 2 blocks, and 2 made threes in 15 minutes on the court. This is unheard of. Then against the Celtics, yeah, Lonzo still showed all-world defense, but the passing he's always been known for. Watch this bounce pass to THT. Like, it's hard to describe, but there's just like an extra zip and precision that makes it special. And it's just a bounce pass. But the best moment was a burst downhill through the defense, exploding over 7'2" Kristaps Porzingis for the bucket. Now you might say, both of those games were gigantic losses. What is the point if your team is so bad? And that's true, but Zoe might not be wasted much longer. A new report says Chicago wants to trade him now. But where will he go? Well, it's really good for the Bulls because Zoe is showing that he's even worth the trade. There was a time when maybe he couldn't walk. Stephen A. Smith said on TV, Ball's having trouble getting out of a chair. Zoe was so upset by this, he filmed a video blasting Stephen A.
Please tell me who your sources are. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta stop yapping.
Yeah. So people said, screw Stephen A. Smith, just saying stuff on TV. But actually, he wasn't wrong. Lonzo's knee injury was a complete mystery. You know, he was out 2.5 years. Well, you'd expect some gruesome injury like Gordon Hayward. No, January 2022. This is Zoe's last game. Jogging up the floor. Guarding Steph, switches onto Wiggs. Steph hits a 3, timeout. Watch Zoe walking off the court. Not even a limp. He wouldn't play for 2.5 years. What happened? So Tristan Thompson went on ESPN and said Lonzo went to doctors all over the country and they say he has a unique injury that they have never seen before. That's not good. But Zoe has had knee problems for years. His first meniscus surgery was in 2018 with the Lakers, and instead of repairing it, they chose to partially remove it to get on the court sooner. And you can only do that so many times before there's no meniscus left. So after 2 surgeries with the Bulls, it was announced that Zoe was getting a whole new meniscus from a dead guy. That's right, zombie meniscus. Called a meniscus transplant surgery, and no one has ever done this and gotten back to the NBA. It's kind of like Klay Thompson. Klay was out about the same amount of time, but his injury stole years 29 and 30 from Klay, and he hadn't the same. Those are the prime years for an NBA player. Guys like Michael Jordan, LeBron James are racking up titles at that age. Zoe was out for age 25 and 26. Not ideal, but he has potentially the best years of basketball ahead of him. But where will that be? Because it ain't the Bulls. Well, so far, Lonzo leads Chicago in plus minus at plus 2.8. And yes, it's a small sample, but stats back up the eye test. So the Bulls leaked 3 players are on the market. Lonzo, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic. Other rumors say they're even willing to trade Kobe White and Patrick Williams at this point, which is crazy because of how stupid that they have been in trades recently. Last year, the Warriors thought they had a deal for Alex Caruso at the deadline. Golden State offered 2 first-round picks, but the Bulls said no. Instead, they dealt him for Josh Giddey and no picks. From OKC, who has 1 million picks, they couldn't get 1. In that same deadline, the Sixers offered multiple seconds for Andre Drummond. Chicago said no, so Drummond went there that summer for nothing. Great job. Or what about DeMar DeRozan? Do you know how many contenders would have liked DeMar last year when his trade value was highest? Instead, they waited until he was a free agent and had to do a sign and trade to the Kings for 2 seconds and Chris Duarte. It's like this team wants to lose every trade. So why are they doing it now? because of a loaded 2025 draft. The Bulls still owe a top 10 protected pick to the Spurs from the DeRozan deal years ago. And the only way to keep that is by losing games and tanking. So if they can get a top 5 pick, it would jumpstart their rebuild. But the problem is that same pick then rolls over to 2026 top 10 protected. So actually, they need to be bad for like 2 or 3 more years. Sorry, Bulls fans, your team is gonna suck for a long time. Haven't been to a final since Michael Jordan? Well, it ain't gonna change anytime soon. But who is gonna get Lonzo? What team could he help in his prime years? Well, Zoe posted to his Snapchat this photo with LaMelo Ball. Caption says, "I knew this day would come." Oh, it is happening, people. Reunited like Chino Hills. Oh, but he's just talking about how LaMelo is dominating in Charlotte. He's just supporting his brother. But then LeVar Ball said after the Hornets lost in New York, "Don't worry, help is coming." What does he know? Okay, that would be fun. But we can actually figure out the short list of teams who want Lonzo. All we need to do is determine who needs a playmaking two-way guard and should be a buyer at the trade deadline. Well, the good news is Lonzo is on the last year of his contract, so it's not a huge commitment to take him on, and the Bulls are motivated because if they don't deal him now, Zoe leaves in the summer for nothing. So buyers this year could be the Cavs, Bucks, Magic, Knicks, and Heat in the East, the Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavericks, Clippers, Suns, Lakers, Nuggets, Wolves, and Kings in the West, which is a huge list. So how do we whittle it down? Well, who needs a two-way guard? Well, I would say the Lakers, Suns, Nuggets, and Kings have a terrible defense, could need Lonzo, and the Nuggets need backcourt depth, along with the Timberwolves, Suns, Bucks, Magic, and I think a great fit in Golden State. Now, Lonzo needs to keep showing this progress to be worth a decent trade. But what if the Warriors got Zoe for DeAnthony Melton's salary, because we know he's injured, Gary Payton II, and the 2025 first-round pick? I know it's crazy to see a first-round pick for Lonzo, who is out for 2.5 years, but this isn't like every first-round pick, okay? The Warriors are so good, this could be a low first-round pick, like 27th in the draft. And he would be so clutch in their motion offense, hitting threes, running the fast break, picking off passes, because that is what we are seeing from Lonzo after being out for over 2 years. The rest of his career could be so much better than we expected after this experimental surgery. We just got to see what team he'll be on next. But speaking of trade teams, the LA Lakers are doing okay, but Dalton Knecht could be the rookie of the year. So why did 16 teams pass on him in the draft? Well, we're finding out why, and it's not a great look for Dalton's NBA future.